This is going to drive me insane. You, I'm going to find you. Welcome back, everyone, to Geo Detective, the much-loved series in which I attempt to geolocate certain people, certain subjects. Some of them are you, some of them might be your grandparents, and I believe that's what we have today. Let me just double check. Great-granddad. This is a great-granddad, and this is a special one. This one was sent in by Victor Verkenwieler. My name is Victor and I live in Sweden. These photos are of my great-grandfather who travelled around the world with his wife in the 1920s. Is that not your great-grandmother? We won't ask. She was a photographer, so she captured many photos of their adventures along the way. I'm very interested to see where these photos were taken. I've sent you 2 photos. I believe they are from different trips, but I'm not sure. Well, this is going to be a real challenge because this is an old photo, 100 years old, and it's going to be hard. I can already tell that this is going to be hard. Whenever you're 100 years ago, it's very likely that many of the buildings will have disappeared or changed. This is photo number 1. This is photo number 2. Victor reckons they're from different trips. I don't know what his basis is for that. I'm just going to have to trust him on that, but also maybe not trust him. Because this guy, very handsome, well-dressed chappy, your great-grandfather, is wearing pretty much the same clothes. This is the main one I want to try and find. This one is a bonus. This one could help me get this one if they are on the same holiday. Anyway, I'm going to try and find these. We're going to be using Google Earth and just Google to try and find things out, gather information. But Google Earth will be used for things like the mountains, the shape of the bay, more geographical features. Right, away we go. Well, my first thought is that church is going to be crucial. It's pretty much the only building, apart from maybe that church up there, and maybe this one over here too. This big long thing. That could be useful, but none of those are going to help me find this place. Whereas this, with a bit of Googling, I could maybe find that church using terminology that we will discover as we go along. It's a double-crested, I don't know, that sounds more like a bird. A double sort of steeple. But even then, how many churches are there on Earth? Even then, that might be useless. The other main thing here is this boat. And that is a shipwreck, isn't it? It's listing to one side quite heavily. There's nothing on it. I don't know about shipwreck, but abandoned ship. Like maybe a casualty of a war. I feel like we've got some ribs of the boat here, but I can't quite tell. This could be impossible. This is one of the ones that I've started that I'm really not sure that I'll finish. I know I've said that a lot and often I've pulled through. Do you know, looking at this, I think this might be quite easy to find because of this statue. So maybe if I find this, statue of girl holding bell. Got to start somewhere. I'm starting here. Okay, I'm actually going to use a bit of Spanish translate here. You know what? What the hell? When I said bell, I didn't mean... Why does that exist? Where is this? That is absolutely obscene. I think that's going to be censored. Another video that won't be monetized. Okay, not that kind of bell. Clearly in Spanish, they also call a bell end a bell. Good to know we're all on the same wavelength. Okay, didn't have any luck there, so I'm going to go back to our main photo. This type of church. I'm going to go full speed down the church avenue now. And I'm just going to have one more look to see what country I think this might be. Could be Spain, could be Italy. Shipwreck in harbour. I'm going to go down that avenue first. Shipwreck in harbour. This could be really, really hard because I don't have many good leads. There really isn't much for me to cling on to. I don't think they would have left that there for long. It's in the way, isn't it? I'm gonna go down the church route now. We can still do more with the boat. We can do more searching, World War One, shipwreck, things like that. If we can figure out what country this church is likely to be in, that's going to help us massively. Because at the moment, we could be anywhere. I mean, we could be in Brazil, and that's not good. So, types of church steeple. Mediterranean, which I can't spell at all. Church steeple, Spain. Doesn't look great. Italy. The other tricky thing is that, which I hadn't thought of, this is pre-World War II. So who knows, that might have been destroyed in World War II, in which case it's a wild goose chase, but unlikely. So at the moment, I'm just trying to hone in on that exact style, find out the terminology for this double kind of square steeple with a bell on top. Another bell. It's really hard to just get the terminology. I'll have to just make it up myself. I know I'm not the best at Googling, but really hard. I don't know how I can find out the terminology of this double flat square tower roof. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 3D buildings on and just find one that's similar. You know, I'm going to start in sort of the south of France, maybe. Yeah, and go from there. Just want to copy and paste that. Hell. Okay, you can already see that's not the right type of church there, just from above. Even if the 3D buildings haven't loaded, that's the same. These are slightly wrong. So for that reason, I'm going to whiz over to another part of France. I'm going to go further north. That's not quite right, but I'd say it's closer. I'd say it's closer. Very French to have that sort of pyramid on top. But yeah, I just need to find the right type of church. I'll see you there. This can't be Britain, can it? Switching back over to a quick Google. Tiered bell tower. Now we've got these crazily tiered things like a bloody prince's wedding cake. You just need the two. Getting closer though. I mean, how feasible is it that this is sort of Australia or America? Is that such a balmy thought? I mean, we've got this straight road that's coming down towards his noggin that does put you in mind of such places. Okay, I think we're all agreed that that is quite an old church. I'm just going to eliminate a couple of options. Oldest churches in New Zealand, Australia, get them out the way. Okay, I can't see anything that resembles that church in New Zealand. Australia, we've got a bit more, but I still can't find anything of that style. Nothing close. No, I'm happy we're not there. Getting back into Google Earth and I'm going to Malta. I don't think we're there. Happy to discard that for now. It's funny because some of the buildings kind of look Welsh. I don't think they are because of the trees. But there's something about the buildings with the kind of, it looks like heavy stone. These arches reminds me of a Welsh church. It's just frustrating because I haven't found anything close to looking like it. And I don't know how to make that leap. Okay, I'm just literally working my way through this list of the tallest churches. Just trying to find one that has a remotely similar, design style. We have gone through those. I do love a good challenge, but I have got nowhere with this so far. That is the closest thing I've found so far. And it's a painting. it's not quite enough to do the Google image reverse search, which I'm not allowed to do on the actual photo, by the way, if anyone was getting frustrated there. There's a slightly better one even. The clock. This isn't even a church though. This is a clock tower in Swanage. Is that even closer? I'll try and reverse search. It's like a nut. It's like we need to just crack it. And then once we're in, hopefully it'll all open up. So from that now, we're going to get a lot more images of that. But hopefully, just hopefully, we can find a church that looks similar. Okay, so it's led us to the Belfry of Bruges, which I've actually seen. Maybe there's some sort of terminology here we can get, because it does have different levels to it. Upper stage of the Belfry. Square Belfry. Interesting how we're getting that now with that. Feel like cracking the nut isn't too far off. Marienplatz, there's another one. That's in Munich. Can't wait for the moment that this unravels. And it will. It's got to, for my own sanity. Going down a slightly different angle now. Mexico Church Harbour, Brazil Church Harbour. But these look completely different. Okay. I am gonna come back to this and get back to this statue here, because if this is somewhere like Brazil or the Caribbean or somewhere really exotic, then it at least will make me feel better about searching that far and wide for the other one. And it may even be in that same country. It may even, lead straight to it. So yeah, is that a child holding bell? Oh God, what choice have I got? Statue, child holding bell. God. And now what have we found? Who makes these? We're getting all sorts of mad shit here. I guess statues can be pulled down, can't they? Through revolutions and whatnot, especially in sort of more turbulent countries in Latin America, but it's not helping me. Is that a bell? Maybe it's a lantern. Is it incense? I just don't know how to get the terminology for shit. A square dome. What do you call that? It's not a dome, I know, but why would that be what I want? Right, list of roof shapes. Right, what is 14 then? 14. Where's the key? Where's the key for it? Give me the key. Don't tell me it's not on this one. Where's the key for that one? Is someone having me on here? More details. This is going to drive me insane. What we got here? No. Come on. That's it. You gonna unblur? You gonna unblur? No, of course you're not. Because this is gonna drive me insane. That's what it's setting out to do. The problem is, you'll type in something that's incorrect, technically, like four-sided dome, and you'll get something. But if that's wrong, then you're still stuck. It's not gonna also have the correct terminology, is it? I can't even find the terminology for a four-sided dome like that, because it's not a dome. A dome is circular. So I've searched for like 10-15 minutes furiously, and I cannot find what that is called. And this, unbelievable, roof shapes, list of roof shapes, and I can't actually see. What is the point in this diagram? You've got all these ones you've got, but not that. So why is that there? Cloister vault. That's the technical name. I finally found it. Oh, but that isn't what we've got. That's actually an underground thing. Great. That's interesting. Look at that. I don't think that's it, but that's just what I've got from Falls Fishing Village. Oh, I mean, where is that? That doesn't look like Spain to me. I don't think we're here, but it's interesting to me. Certain areas of certain countries can look different to the rest of the country. Yes, there you go. Northern Spain, what a surprise, looks very different, which could explain why I'm just struggling to place this based on the Google searches. As I say, I don't think we're here, but yeah, it's not it, but it's a lot like it. It is a lot like it. It's not that similar, is it? Right, I'm going to have to come back to this tomorrow with a clear head, because I've got quite a fuzzy head. Just see if I can get the right angle on this to crack that nut, because at the moment it's too tough. Well, this has been a nightmare. Well, for a start, I wasn't recording just then, and I recorded 2 hours of the search. But it doesn't really matter because, well, I'm not much closer. I'm closer in the sense that I've ruled things out because I thought it's got a sort of British colony vibe. The buildings, you know, these stone arches and whatnot. I've done a lot of searching in the Mediterranean, Greece, Italy, Spain, and they just look more foreign than this. So I've searched a lot of the ex-British colonies, the Caribbean, African places, Australia, New Zealand, blah, blah, blah. Everything on this list of British colonies, pretty much, apart from things like Iraq. I've done a lot of Spanish translate, Greek translate, French translate, Italian translate, typing in buzzwords such as, I've been focusing a lot on this because it's a goods shed, it's a rail depot, it's that sort of thing, and it's made of stone and it's got impressive arches. I thought maybe that would come up in Google, but alas, similarly to this church, Google Images is just coming up with nothing that even looks like it. And I've tried every combination of words, believe me. I'm looking at this photo and I've searched so much of the world now, and I'm at the point now where it's like, where is this then? This looks kind of hot. The church looks British. I mean, that looks British. The goods shed. Where the are we? By the way, I've had this colorized. I don't know if you've noticed. There's the original. I had it colorized for free on the internet, but apart from the fact that this man's suit looks to be pink, we've achieved nothing of interest. So I'm looking now in San Francisco. Madly. We can't be here, but that's where I'm now looking. Nah, that bit's too big. Some of the Caribbean places didn't look bad, by the way. They didn't look too dissimilar. There were churches that weren't too dissimilar and whatnot, but I searched pretty much every one. Maybe I've missed a couple. Yeah, maybe we could be in Haiti, however you say it. So I'll do some more searching in the Caribbean now. Of course, things are even more likely to be destroyed by hurricanes, aren't they, over here? So the chance of that still being there, for example, are slim. But there's too much stone. There's too much stone, I think, for a Caribbean island. Chocolate hole. So, with by far the most interesting finds all being incredibly rude, I continued the search, finishing off the rest of the Caribbean and then returning to the Med, where nothing felt quite right either. The buildings just seemed too, well, Mediterranean, and in fact the closest I could get to the church in the photo was in northern France. But there are simply no mountains anywhere near the sea there.
I felt like I was eliminating place after place, but I didn't feel like I was getting any closer to the goal.
This is fast becoming the hardest one I've ever done. Fast approaching Aaron Amberleaf. It's not quite at those levels yet, but in a few hours more fruitless searching, it will be there.
Then, a few days later, during my second scour of the Spanish coast, I realised something.
So, here's an update, guys. This is like a few weeks later now from most of the searching you've watched. Not because I've been solidly at it, but because I've been doing other things. Haven't had time, but I zoomed in on the church just now and I thought, well, what if that has been demolished? And then the thought occurred to me of the Spanish Civil War, which I know very little about, to be honest. And I found out here that on a single night alone in 1936, 50 churches were burned. And that was around Barcelona, I think. But as many as 20,000 churches were destroyed, many of them before the war commenced. The point is, this church may well have been demolished. It's got every chance of being, especially if we are in Spain, because I've scoured the coast pretty hard. Now, there were a couple of places in Spain that I liked the look of in terms of these mountains, but some of the other things didn't match up. Port structures can change. You know, the shape of this harbour can soon be changed to accommodate massive 20th century ships. And many of these buildings could have been replaced. So this might lead to nothing, but I've got to consider that there might have been vast changes on any of these historic things that I do. And on that note, I'm going to check something. I do like the position of that church with that. So the question is this a new church that's been built 1941? Interesting. My theory now is that, my hopeful theory is that is the original Cambrils church. It was demolished in the Civil War and they built one in 1941.
I may have been correct about that. However, after scouring countless old maps and photographs of the historic port town of Cambrils, I yet again came to the conclusion that we simply couldn't be there.
I really thought I was getting somewhere then. I think this hill is too tall for a start, and I'm dreaming if I think otherwise. The buildings just aren't quite right. We don't have the archways. I think they'd still be there. But the good news is I think we're onto something with the church possibly having disappeared. So I think I need to just have another little scour in Spain.
So that's what I did. I scoured Spain for the third time. Then I scoured Australia and New Zealand again, even though I'd already ruled them out. Then Britain and Ireland, even though I knew we weren't there. Then I returned to Greece, even though the churches are all white and look completely different, before searching a few places in America. Again. Still clueless, I had another gander at Corsica and Portugal, just for a laugh. But somewhere between Cape Town and Cairo, things didn't feel quite so funny anymore. By now, I'd invested a hell of a lot of time, energy and patience into this challenge. There were many moments where I wanted to quit and reverse image search the church, but I resisted and decided to put all my effort into the second photo, just in case it was taken in the same place. Searches for white cathedrals in Mexico and South America had me momentarily excited, as did a cathedral in Mumbai that resembled our other church. But Google Images, as always, just wasn't churning up a big enough range of matches. So then, and by no means for the first time, I focused my energy on the White Palace on the left, this time throwing in the word presidential.
That's pretty good. That's the kind of thing we're after, isn't it? Shit. I'm pretty sure that's it, you know. Look at these things on the top. These little things here. That's got to be it. This is the most exciting thing that's happened yet, I would say. So, let's go to Haiti. I mean, I have checked Haiti. Yeah, I've checked the place, but have I checked it well enough? Dunno. If this isn't it, I will eat my hat. Has that been demolished? Because I saw on here, smashed in an earthquake. That is crazy. So they've got to rebuild that. Let's try and get some older imagery up then. Let's try and get to like 2009 maybe. Okay, good, it's there. Still standing at that point. So the photo would have been took from over here. Or is it like that? Yeah. That's it. Our Lady of the Assumption, Port-au-Prince. Shit. That was destroyed in the earthquake. Oh my god, this is really sad. Like, these are two of their best buildings demolished. But it's in the photo over there. So we know where this one was taken. But this isn't the photo that we were trying to get. It was the other photo. And the issue here is going to be, is it possible that we were here? Oh my god. I think it is, you know. I think what's happened here is loads of stuff has been demolished and destroyed in an earthquake. I'm looking at this range of mountains over here, trying to figure out whether that can be it. I think it is. We just don't have that the little bit there. Port-au-Prince, 1920s. Is that it? Is that our church? St. Anne Church. Doesn't really look like it. Look at that. That's gotta be it. Hasn't it? It was destroyed in the 2010 earthquake. Hasn't been rebuilt since. But I think even before that, it looked different. They'd changed the look of it. But most things add up here. We've got the roads that go straight up. We've got these two little hills here. You can actually see those. And you've got this hill in the background, which you can sort of start to see over there. The shipwreck's obviously gone. These have gone. Most of the buildings here, I think, will have gone. Definitely now. And these railway sheds were a complete waste of time. Me looking at, I mean, so much has changed. In the end, I have found it from the other photo, which I didn't predict. I just didn't think these were the same place. I thought, this is the Americas or India. This looks really tropical, which it is. But this one I thought doesn't. I was convinced this was in Europe. Now, I did search the Caribbean quite extensively, including Haiti. But I just took one look at this and said, no, this is too run down. This is too, poor. And there isn't enough historic buildings here. But I should have looked at the mountains more and considered that I might be wrong. Wow. I probably don't look it, but I'm very relieved to have got that. There's something a bit underwhelming about it though. But there shouldn't be, because that was a hard one to find, I think, with all the things that had changed. I think it's just that I didn't find it in the way that I thought I would, which was scouring Google Earth for hours on end. I mean, I'm just looking at the history here of Haiti and some of the hurricanes they've had. Hurricane Hazel, 250-kilometre-an-hour winds. Hurricane devastated the country, killing several thousand. That's just 1 year. And there's several more since then. It's no surprise that it looks like it does to this day. Well, that is a relief either way, and I can put the marker down. Well, I don't think we'll ever quite know exactly where we were. Church is directly in the middle of those two little mountains and the gap. So maybe we're about here. Victor Verkenweiler, I have successfully located your granddad. It was an exhausting... Was it your granddad or your great-granddad? Okay, it was his great-grandfather. I think we can go within 50 metres there. But I'm happy to change it if someone proves me wrong. And I can finally move on to the next Geo Detective, which hopefully won't be quite so hard and won't take up quite so much time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this one. Do drop me a like if you did enjoy it, because it did take a while. And I'll see you for the next one. Have a lovely evening and take care.